We're here in Canary Wharf. SAI Global have been at the Gartner Security and Risk Management Summit for the last 2 days. We've been having conversations with clients and potential clients about integrated risk management, and we thought it was the perfect opportunity to get some time with Rob Van Straten, who leads SAI Global across EMEA and Asia Pac. We're looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. Hi Rob, thanks for joining us. I wanted to take the opportunity to explore with you, if we may, a little bit more about data privacy, specifically obviously GDPR. And I think the first question from my side would be, is it a compliance topic or is it a risk management topic?
It's a good question, Lee. So GDPR is a regulation, so one could say it's a compliance topic. And often people start by looking at how can I be compliant, appoint a data privacy officer, review the contracts in the company, organize the consent management. But you could also say it's risk management, because staying out of trouble with data privacy means that you want to avoid breaking the law and being fined. But the true risk is around your reputation.
Absolutely.
Because if your brand promise is not the same as your brand delivery, if you say, your credit card details are safe with me as an online retailer, and I'm in the newspaper because of loss of theft of those credit card details, then the damage to my organization from a reputational point of view can be bigger than the regulatory consequences. So for me, it all should be seen through the lens of risk management, including the risk of being non-compliant.
Great answer. With that, what are the key risks if I was in a risk management role for you around data privacy?
Yeah, so there are risks like, are you prepared for the subject access requests? Are you prepared for volume? Because things are changing, you can't charge for it anymore. There are activist groups, employees are under the regulations. So, if there's a restructuring going on and hundreds of people want you to comply with the law based on their requests, that can be a risk. But essentially, the risk that we should all be looking out to protect organizations against is the risk of misuse, but more importantly, loss or theft of personal data. And when you look at loss or theft, you look at what are the risks of that. If you unpeel the onion, then the biggest risks are with the employees in the company. So people first need to be aware what is GDPR. Everybody in the organization should have an understanding of that.
Course, yeah.
Then some people need to be a little bit more aware when you're in IT or marketing, or in HR, because you need to review your business processes. But also, people need to be aware that information security is more important than ever. Because most of the breaches around personal data, or if you take it a little bit broader, security incidents around information security are caused by human error.
Yes.
Human error of the employees. So that's really the starting point, making sure that people behave in a responsible manner. People are aware what GDPR is, and for some people be more aware because they have to review their processes. So that's the key risk to focus on, is with your own organization. And the second risk is an obvious one. It's even a legal requirement. You should have an effective control mechanism in your company, preferably supported by technology and based on standards. It's written in the law.
Yes, no, it is.
So you should automate your risk, your IT governance risk management programs. And then the third risk to focus on is with your vendors, because most organizations have third-party or sometimes fourth-party vendors that keep personal data on their systems that you are responsible for.
Yeah, and with that in mind, do companies know where that personal data is? I've had conversations at the recent event and then throughout the last 2 years actually, where I'm unsure, but how about your experience in discussing that with clients?
I've got the same experience, and people are looking for ways to discover where their personal data is and then take the measures to protect it. And specifically complicated is the vendor landscape. So as a consequence of GDPR, specifically here in Europe, you see that vendor risk management programs are enhanced.
Yes.
And not only understanding where the data sits with your vendors, but also make sure you can validate that they behave in a responsible manner for the data that sits on their networks. Because you can write things in a contract,
yes,
but that doesn't protect your reputation if there's something going wrong with the personal data that you as an organization are responsible for.
So on top of audits, what else could I do if I was in a customer at this minute in time?
So what we usually do is send questionnaires to vendors, and you know, it's almost funny. We send a questionnaire to a vendor asking the vendor about all these security controls, if they've implemented, and did you implement patches in time, and what do we expect vendors to say no? I mean, what's the
No,
point
exactly
actually?
right, yeah.
So we believe that there are better ways of validating if vendors that we deal with act in a responsible way and protect their IT infrastructure sufficiently so that our data is kept in good hands. And on top of audits and next to questionnaires, I think a better way is to validate online what the behavior is of the vendors we deal with in real time.
Yes.
Give them a score, a security score, and based on that score and the deficiencies that we bring to surface, we can kick off certain automated workflows to inform the vendor, hey, you've got some vulnerabilities here, we would like you to take care of those, and then 3 days later you can do the score again.
Yes,
You can fully automate the process. And another way of overcoming this questionnaire hurdle almost is to enter into a dialogue rather than a questionnaire. So recent innovation we brought to market is a chatbot.
Yes.
So we connect a chatbot to the vendor portal where vendors of our customers register on. So then you enter into a dialogue with a chatbot. The chatbot asks you 1 or 2 questions, and based on the answers, it goes to a different part of the dialogue. So rather than 400 questions in the questionnaire, you only answer a couple of relevant questionnaires, and you can go back the next week because you know the email of the person and ask another question. So that's where I see where we're going with vendor risk management in a continuous and adaptive way.
Yeah, and I love the chatbot, especially because the different personas that people have in the industry require information in a different way. So you can have the dynamic questionnaire online, but the chatbot allows you to gain access to people that probably wouldn't like to do that form in a continuous way.
As long as they answer their emails.
As long as they get the information, then that's completely fine. But no, thank you for your time. I thought it was a great insight into data privacy. We've learned a lot from our conversation with Rob today, and we've also learned a lot from our conversations with our clients and potential clients. I hope you have too, and thank you for joining us.